This sanctioning body president is not a disinterested party. He, as he's claiming, I'm not. He has business interests he clearly feels, in my opinion, are threatened by a shifting landscape in boxing. And I am a part of that shifting landscape. It ain't business as usual anymore, where these cancerous sanctioning body cells drain the life out of the sport year after year.
Max Kellerman isn't holding back, even against the biggest names in the WBC. He's been clear and outspoken. The alphabet soup era is over, and sanctioning bodies like the WBC are harming the sport. With 25 years of experience backing his views, Kellerman isn't speaking from script. He's speaking the truth. This isn't just media drama. It's a battle for boxing's future, and Kellerman is ready to challenge the old guard head-on. The WBC president's anger makes sense when you see the money at stake. Organizations like the WBC, WBA, and IBF make huge profits from sanctioning fees, taking a cut whenever fighters hold their belts. For years, fighters just paid it as the cost of greatness. But that changed when Terence Crawford beat Canelo Alvarez, earned a reported $50 million, and decided he wasn't paying those fees anymore.
Mauricio, got a lot to say about me not paying him $300,000 plus another $100K something for sanction fees, right? They ain't gonna tell me I ain't even apologize. Like, who the fuck you think I am? Boy, you better slap your fucking self. I ain't paying your ass shit. Fuck you talking about pay you $300,000. What makes you so motherfucking better than any of the other sanction bodies? Huh? Answer that question. What makes you better than the WBO, the IBF, or the WBA? Everybody accepted what I was giving them. But you, the WBC, think that you better than everybody, don't you? So since you, the WBC, and you got the fucking green belt, which don't mean fucking shit. Fucking real belt is the ring belt, which is free, motherfucker. What are you talking about? You want me to pay you more than the other sanction bodies because you feel like you better than them. How in the world all the sanction bodies agreed to the same amount, but you sit your motherfucking ass up there and say that I need to apologize to you? The fuck? You can take the fucking belt. It's a trophy anyway.
The WBC sent Crawford a bill even after discounting it to about 0.6%, asking for around $300,000 just to let him keep a belt he had already won. Crawford's response was bold. He didn't negotiate or ask for a payment plan. He went public, called the belt a trophy, and basically said he wasn't paying, daring them to take it back. This was a huge hit to the WBC's authority. When the world's best fighter treats your championship like a meaningless accessory, it sends a clear message to everyone else. The system isn't untouchable. The WBC had no choice but to strip him of the title, but the damage was done. The rebellion had begun.
Terence Crawford has been very successful in the ring. He has been a world champion for 12 or 13 years, multiple times with the WBO in super lightweight. He won the WBC super lightweight. Then he unified and became undisputed in welterweight against WBC champion, who was Spence, in a great fight. He petitioned to fight a final elimination bout in super welterweight against Madrimov and remained champion in welter. The WBC supported him. He did not comply with the rules. Then he moves up to super middle and makes the fight of the century, beats Canelo, makes $50 million or around that. The WBC absolutely is not going to charge 3% of such an amount. We made a very clear 0.6%, which is $300,000, with $225,000 going to the Jose Sulaiman Boxers Fund, which is to help former fighters in need. And it is just regrettable. Not even a thank you or or I'm sorry, taking a different route, no response. I wish him the best. But this is not. The WBC is huge, it's great, it's about greatness, and I'm relieved, to tell you the truth.
Max didn't just cover the Crawford story. He turned it into a full-on critique of sanctioning bodies. On his show, he was relentless, calling organizations like the WBC more harmful than helpful to boxing. He said they act like parasites, feeding off the sport to grow their own power while giving nothing back.
The one doing the critiquing is not a journalist. He's not a disinterested party. Disinterested, by the way, doesn't mean uninterested. They're conflated. Disinterested means you're neutral. You're an observer the way a scientist looks at data, right? They can't be rooting for one outcome or another. And this sanctioning body president is not a disinterested party. He, as he's claiming, I'm not. He has business interests he clearly feels, in my opinion, are threatened by a shifting landscape in boxing. And I am a part of that shifting landscape. It ain't business as usual anymore, where these cancerous sanctioning body cells drain the life out of the sport year after year. Finally, I want to say this. In terms of the thought that based on the identity of my employers, you have to take what I say with a grain of salt. You should. You should consider all these things. You should also judge what I'm saying based on the content of what I'm saying and the truthfulness of it.
Max argued that while sanctioning bodies might have served a purpose in the past, today they're just middlemen taking money from the fighters who actually risk everything in the ring. He reminded everyone that fans aren't paying to see the WBC belt. They're paying to watch stars like Terence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez. If fighters are the product and fans are the customers, why should millions go to bureaucrats instead of the athletes? Max declared that the era of these organizations draining the sport is over, and it was his blunt comment calling them cancerous that finally set Mauricio Sulaiman off.
I said exactly what I'm saying now about Ring Magazine championships and the sanctioning body championships for the past 25 years. I have been employed by Ring Magazine for several months now, but I've been saying the same exact thing I'm saying now for 25 years. Just pick up Ring Magazine and it says so inside. They list the real champions in each division, and people say, well, what gives what gives Ring Magazine the legitimacy to rank champions? What about the sanctioning bodies? No, the sanctioning bodies have blown it a million ways.
You got receipts?
I got receipts
Let's get it.
posted on Twitter.
When Sulaiman heard Max's comments, he didn't counter with facts or financial numbers. He went after his character instead. In an interview with Fight Hype, Sulaiman laughed off Max's criticism, but the tension was obvious. He suggested Max's attack wasn't sincere, pointing out that Kellerman now works for the Ring Magazine, which is owned by the Saudi General Entertainment Authority under Turki Al-Sheikh, implying a conflict of interest.
Max Kellerman spoke with Mr. Khan earlier today in an interview, and they spoke about
No, please, I will not comment because that is a scripted commentary. The WBC does not have outlets. They own that outlet, so they can script. And it is so embarrassing how low Max Kellerman, Mike Coppinger, they have gone so low because they do represent the publication. So it is scripted. It's biased completely. So I don't like to comment on that.
Okay. Well,
you are doing an interview. This is not biased. I am answering every single question.
Absolutely.
And I don't owe anything to you. You don't owe anything to me. You ask, I respond. But to talk about a program that is scripted, absolutely not.
Sulaiman's story is that Turki Al-Sheikh wants to dismantle the old sanctioning bodies to build his own super league, and that Max Kellerman is just his mouthpiece. By calling Max scripted, Sulaiman tries to make people think these aren't Max's real opinions, just lines to please a billionaire boss. It's a smart way to dodge the criticism and attack the messenger instead. But the problem for Sulaiman is that he picked a fight with someone who cares about the truth and the power of words more than anyone else in sports media. Max's response was a masterclass in calm authority. He didn't yell. He gave the WBC president a lesson in language. Max focused on bias and highlighted a distinction most people miss: being uninterested versus disinterested. Uninterested means you don't care, you're bored. Disinterested means you're impartial, with no personal stake, like a scientist observing an experiment. Max explained that he is disinterested. He doesn't get paid by the WBC or promoters. He's just reporting the facts. Sulaiman, by contrast, is interested, financially invested in keeping the system alive. By flipping the definition, Max cast himself as the objective truth teller and Sulaiman as the biased businessman protecting his own income.
Terence's criticism of the WBC is very well warranted, okay? The WBC, even though it was corrupt back when Jose Sulaiman would do corrupt things with Don King during his tenure, which was even depicted in The Great White Hype, which you were in, but another story for another day. Samuel L. Jackson being Don King, Jose Sulaiman being Cheech in that movie. That's who they were referencing. But despite all the corruption they've always had, when Mauricio inherited his father's company, he had a position to go the right path and make the WBC stand head and shoulders above the rest as clearly the most prestigious belt. It was the most prestigious belt when he inherited it. And instead, through short-term gain, short-sightedness, greed, and all that, he has put himself in a position now where he is losing deservedly in the court of public opinion against Crawford and, more importantly, TKO. And we'll get to that later on. And just to back up, just to not hold any water for the WBC, there's a picture I'll put up here. I remember in 2021, there was a time I had a WBC calendar, and on the calendar, it had Ryan Garcia with a WBC interim title, Devin Haney with the WBC title, and Teofimo Lopez with the WBC franchise title. And I used to make the joke, what the WBC will do is get 3% of Teofimo Lopez, 3% of Devin Haney, and 3% of Ryan Garcia. We will have 3 WBC champions in the same weight class at the same time!
The strongest part of Max's defense wasn't grammar, it was history. Sulaiman's whole argument rested on the idea that Max is only speaking out now because of the Saudis, but Max had decades of proof. He challenged anyone to watch his tapes from 1998 on HBO or 2010 on ESPN, and the internet delivered. For 25 years, Max has been calling out the alphabet soup sanctioning bodies, arguing there should only be one champion per division, the lineal champion, and that belts are confusing jewelry sold to the highest bidder. This completely blows up Sulaiman's scripted claim. Max isn't speaking for pay, he's speaking from belief, now with a platform big enough to make a difference. The real conflict isn't Max or even Crawford. It's the massive shift in boxing power known as the Riyadh Season Takeover. For decades, the WBC, WBA, and IBF held all the leverage through their rankings and belts. But Turki Al-Sheikh and the new Saudi investment are changing the game entirely.
You know, when I was coming up, all the writers would call them trinkets, right? But by Oscar always wearing the WBC, Floyd, Tyson, on and on, the WBC was the romantic title for me that, hey, if I ever became a champion, that's the one I'd want to fight for. But I'm sitting at the press conference yesterday. I'm here in Texas covering Pitbull Roach, which is a WBC interim super lightweight title. And in a couple of weeks, Subriel Matias, who had Osterine in his system, is defending the full title so that Mauricio could get 3% of 2 belts in the same division. And if that isn't egregious enough, because we do know Teofimo Lopez is the super lightweight champion of the world, right? And yet they're trying to convince me this interim title fight is is legitimately for the super lightweight champ. I don't know what world they're referencing. Not this one where Teofimo Lopez is the champion. If that wasn't egregious enough, on the undercard is Shane Mosley Jr., who I love Shane Jr., but he's never really been a top 10 in any given weight class. Coming off a career best win, beating Daniel Jacobs, shout out to him. But he's fighting Jesus Ramos, who's accomplished nothing at middleweight, and they got it for a WBC interim world title. And that's when I went, God damn it, they really are trinkets. He really has turned it into this. So Crawford's right, but it's coming at a time where he's holding water for TKO and what definitely looks like a coordinated attack to take out the head, and the rest will follow. Nick Khan went after them in a PR fluff dressed as an interview with Max Kellerman, going after the WBC. Yesterday in Congress, the House of Representatives, one of the talking points TKO used was going after the WBC stripping Crawford. Mauricio played right into their hands.
The new Saudi-backed approach is shaking boxing to its core. Fights are being made based on what fans want, not rankings, and fighters are earning career-high purses that make old sanctioning fees look absurd. Rumors of a super league involving Dana White and TKO have the traditional bodies facing a real threat of extinction. If Riyadh funds the money and beating the best brings prestige, what role does the WBC even play? That's the question keeping Mauricio Sulaiman awake, while Max Kellerman is simply calling it out on his mic. The boxing world has reacted fast and divided. Voices like Adam Catterall of Talk Sports back Kellerman, calling sanctioning bodies outdated money-making schemes. But the old guard fought back. Oscar de la Hoya slammed Crawford for disrespecting the sport's history, insisting sanctioning fees are the tax for legacy. And Ryan Garcia echoed that, calling Crawford's refusal cowardice. Meanwhile, UFC's Dana White sees the chaos as proof the current system is broken and perfect for a takeover. What started as a feud between a pundit and a president has now become a test for every major figure in combat sports.
What did you think of the WBC stripping Terence Crawford of his belt?
Listen, if you look at how this thing's playing out, first of all, let me say this. I love that all these guys, all these boxing guys, love the Ali Act the way it is now. I want to see how many of them actually stay there and do that version of the Ali Act instead of the add-on that we're going to do. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a fucking rocket scientist to see what's going on with all these guys. They're all these guys that are crying the loudest are the fucking problems. They're the problem, every one of these guys. And, you know, Crawford, nobody told Crawford to say anything. Crawford's his own man doing his own thing, and that's how he feels. And we'll see how this thing plays out in the next couple of years.
Are you surprised by this frosty reception from the other boxing promoters?
No, not at all. Not at all.
We're witnessing a slow-motion clash between boxing's past and its future. On one side are the old bureaucracies, draining fighters for fees on belts that lose value by the day. On the other is a new, disruptive force treating boxing like a unified league. Max Kellerman has chosen his side, not because he was scripted, but because the signs are clear. The WBC may have stripped Terence Crawford of a belt, but in doing so, they may have stripped themselves of their last bit of relevance.
Had you told me that 20 years ago at Il Molino, I would think, yeah, but what has this guy done that he thinks he can do that in boxing? But now the track record says, yes, he can do it. You have institutional knowledge of how to do it. And then partnered with Turki Al-Sheikh and Nick Khan, by the way. What I think unites all three of you is you love boxing. Like all three of you guys love boxing. And is that what brought you guys together? Like, I think of boxing for so long, the power brokers a lot of times didn't even like the sport. Is that the unifying thing here?
Yeah, and everybody hated each other in boxing too. Yeah, it's almost like this was meant to happen. I've been talking about it, saying, you know, I'm kicking the tires, I'm looking at it, timing is everything. And then the way that this whole thing came together, it literally reminds me of every other thing that's happened to me in my life. It's like, this was the time and the place and the right people to make this happen.
What do you think? Is Max Kellerman right that these sanctioning bodies are sucking the life out of boxing? Or is the WBC a vital part of the sport's history that deserves protection? That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit like, subscribe to Fighters Arena Pro, and ring the bell so you never miss our upcoming content. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next video.